Okay, now what I want to do is I want to go to this sheet and discuss some of the stuff that I've discussed before, but I want to give you these signs, and then you'll be the judge. You ask those questions of yourself before you listen to other people. Okay? So what I want to do is I want to go to 19. Over it is 19. Okay? So here I want to go ahead and right here 19. That's the index. Okay. This is the index of prime number 67. And it's the index of composite 30. Okay. So three numbers. We have three numbers. We have an index, which is 19. Over it is 19. We have 67, which is the prime number corresponding to index 19. And then we have composite 30, which is also has a index 19 in the domain of composite numbers. Okay? All right. So immediately from this chapter, from this line, okay, from this line, it comes that chapter 67 in the Quran has 30 verses. Immediately. Okay? So this line immediately generates the fact that chapter 67 in the Quran has 30 verses. Okay? And the question again comes up, why? 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 I mean, if I'm lying, why is this is true? Okay? All right. Now we're going to go ahead and multiply 19 by 67, which is corresponding prime. 19th prime is 67. And we're going to get a number 1273. This number 1273, we just generated the number of word Allah or God from the beginning of the Quran to 9127. Okay, 1273 is the number of word God. Okay, word God. Let me just spell it out for you. Word God. From 11 to 9127. You can check it for yourself, and you see that that's true. So what we do is we go back to the Quran, okay, and we go to we go to the Seamless Quran, and go here, and we go to 9127. 9127. And there it is in blue, in parentheses, it says 1273. That's the frequency of the word God, which is highlighted in blue there. Okay? From the beginning of the Quran to 9127. So So what we did was, went ahead and okay. So in that line, now we generated the number of word got from 11 to 9127. Okay. Now we go to this one. This time we multiply multiply 19 by 30 by its corresponding composite. We're going to get 570. 570. 5/70th Gaussian prime. 5/70th Gaussian prime. GP Gaussian prime is 9127. So we immediately we generated the number of verses in chapter 127 from two fundamental operation of algebra. Okay? Two multiplications. 19 times 67, we generate the number of word Allah from the beginning of the Quran to 9127. 19 times 30, we generate 570, which is the index of 9127, which is a Gaussian prime. Okay, and we told people where it's supposed to be, where that word Allah is supposed to be. Okay, again, you have to ask yourself, why should it work this way? Why should that one line, this simple line that we had, 19, 67, and 30, should generate all of this information? Why? Okay? Now, 570 also happens to be the number of frequency of Alif Lam Mim in chapter 32 in the Quran. And chapter 32 is the first surah in the Quran that has 30 verses. And you see that number 30 again there. Chapter 32 has 30 verses. So what I can write is, I can go ahead and delete some of these, and put 3230 here. 32 has 30 verses. And if I take its prime factors, it's going to be 2 times 5. 2 times 5 times 17 times 19. Okay, right, so delete some of these other ones here. And so I'm going to write the indices of these prime factors. They are 1, 1, 3, 7, 8. This number happens to be a tri-prime, and it happens to be 341 or 341st tri-prime. Tri-prime. Okay. All right. Now, delete some of these, a little bit more. Okay. 341 is equal to 11 times 31. Okay. Eleven 31st prime number. 11 31st prime number is 9127. Okay, so you see, this is the design of the Almighty. This is how He designed the Quran, and He gives us this information, which is a huge blessing for us. As I said, we don't have to go count things anymore. This is the time of generating the Quran. This is a heavy message. I'm telling you, this is not small. Okay? This is the time of generating the Quran. That God has given us all of these signs by which He tells us how this Quran is generated. It's a mathematics that's completely beyond human knowledge. Okay? Completely beyond human knowledge. We have no clue how this works. But these numbers are so small and yet so formidable and so powerful, and God is telling us that every statement that He said is the truth. Remember now, if it wasn't the truth, it would not be created. Okay? It would not be created. God says the truth is eternal, but falsehood vanishes. Because falsehood doesn't exist. Okay? This is how we are supposed to test ourselves. Remember I talked about tests? We have to test our conviction. Why is it? Why is it that this thing just told us, at one line, told us how many verses are supposed to be in chapter 32? How many verses are supposed to be in chapter 67? How many verses are supposed to be in chapter 9 of the Quran? How many frequency of the word Allah you have from the beginning of the Quran to 9127? What is the frequency of Alif Lam Mim in chapter 32 supposed to be? From one line we got all this information. And again, we have to test ourselves. Do we believe in this, or we're going to throw it behind our back and listen to X, Y, and Z? Okay. Okay. There are a lot more here, but I want to stop here because we have to actually digest the magnitude of this first. Okay. We have to digest the magnitude of this first. See if you do understand it or not. These simple numbers. No counting, nothing. Okay. Do we understand it? Have we taken it to heart? Okay. Do we have faith now? has faith increased? Faith is the eventual supremacy of reason. Okay? You have to reason it out. And that supremacy of that reasoning it out is your faith. That's not going to change. It's not going to be shaken. Okay? Okay, I'll stop here and we'll finish our Juma. Allahu Kabir.